Ella, thank you for joining us today for this pay-app series, Surviving to Thriving. The last few years have presented unpredictable time for the construction industry. So just firstly, can we talk a little bit about how Jenna navigated through the challenging times?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it seems like quite a while ago now. I think it's 2 years on now, aren't we, since the pandemic was first announced. So, Jenna, as main building contractors, we made the decision to close. We took a temporary 5-week break, shut down all our sites. It was a difficult decision really because the government was urging us to keep building, but we just felt that how could you run building sites safely? Social distancing, we had subcontractors who were either off isolating or just not wanting really to be within that environment. So we made the decision to close. We felt it was the right thing to do because it just allowed us time to take stock, plan and prepare really, and make sure we had all the right safety measures in place and everything was enhanced so that when we did reopen everyone could be kept safe whilst then pushing forwards with our projects.
Yeah, and from what I understand, the Jenna team are quite a very close-knit team,
Yes.
should we say. So how did you manage to keep up morale and continue to support each other whilst not being able to sort of get together physically?
Yeah, it was something we paid close attention to because in closing our sites, we furloughed 90% of staff. So we were very fortunate to be protected by the furlough scheme. And we sort of left a staff again to implement all the right policies and procedures, and then that's where my role really came into play really. I'm head of communications and business development, and it was critical really that the communication with both externally but with our staff. So we were writing to staff on a weekly basis, sent out that to their work emails but also personal emails if they weren't picking up work emails, and keep a positive morale really, keep people upbeat, to help communicate what was going on, because I think when people were furloughed, it was quite an unnerving time. Open communication was key really, as I say. Weekly newsletters, communication statements went out. We engaged with staff by trying to get them active. We did a NHS 1,000 miles challenge, so staff were running or walking or cycling and they would send in their miles, and through that we raised money for charity. We did sort of drawing competitions for children and things like that. So yeah, just really trying to keep people engaged and feeling part of the team.
Great, that's wonderful to hear. Is there anything that you, upon reflection, you'd have done a bit differently if you had the time again?
I don't think we would actually. I think we absolutely made the right decision to close the sites and the main office for that period of time. Safety was everything really, and making sure everyone was kept safe and well. So we do believe we made the right decision. As I say, thankfully protected by the furlough scheme, and obviously I think if anything happened again, you're now a bit more prepared for it, and naturally a lot of the enhanced safety measures still continue today. So, but no, I don't. I think we absolutely made the right decision and took the right actions.
Mm. And I think the last few years have certainly, through necessity, escalated the adoption for sort of more digitisation in construction. Have you found that this has changed people's perception to adapt to sort of digital ways of working?
I think so. I think we've had to survive really, haven't we? So it's now become the new norm really. And whilst people would have, probably shied away from using certain methods of technology, I think it was sort of there. I've got to do it now, and I've got to embrace this, and I've got to move forward. So yeah, in that sense, I think it's been quite a positive move forwards for everyone in the construction industry, and just helping us emerge as a sort of an innovative industry really.
Yeah, and have you found the adoption for technology from certainly, how have you found that from a site perspective, and what impact would you say this has had?
Again, it probably made us a bit more efficient, a bit more productive. It meant that we could keep going. Once the sites were, obviously, people need to be on building sites for them to operate, but the wider teams, they could utilise technology to engage with those on site without having to sort of put themselves or others at risk, really. So the teams calls and conferencing has been amazing really. I think it really did become the norm, but it absolutely helped us to be able to keep going whilst keeping everybody safe.
Mm. And in terms of moving forward and how you see the adaptation technology as it is now impacting not just maybe sites but the administrative projects, how do you see that sort of taking shape in the future for
I think we'll just continue to move forwards now and utilise what, those methods of technology that we're now using, and perhaps, for us as a building contractor, we're based down in Folkestone, but we have sites in Sussex. It can make our teams a lot more efficient. They know that they can set up a virtual meeting rather than driving for a number of hours to site, having, that wipes out a whole day really. So absolutely more efficient in how we can operate, and I see that continuing, and then as new technology comes forward and advances are made, I think we're a bit more prepared to really embrace that and adopt those new ways of working.
Excellent. Ella, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming along to talk to us.